Hey everyone, in today's video, we are doing a bookshelf tour. So I actually have 4 shelves we're going to be looking at. This one behind me is my main shelf, and that is where we're going to start. Unfortunately, I cannot fit the entire shelf in one frame, so we're going to have to do this in chunks. The first part of the shelf I'm going to show you is this top part, which is my high fantasy shelf. Arguably more important than the books are my collection of custom Funko Pops. Last year, I started getting Funkos and repainting them to look like my characters in my book, The 12 Kingdoms. I currently have the entire main cast on the shelf, and I wanted the books they went with to kind of fit the theme of the story, which is high fantasy. This is actually the first time showing off most of these Funkos. I'm gonna do full-on intro posts at some point, but I haven't gotten around to that point yet. In order, we have Camilla, Ketch, Anemo, Rose, the main character, Hertz, and Megs. I tried to do kind of like a gradient theme with the coloring. It used to be all blue, but then I wound up having to change that because of another shelf you will see later. Some notable books on this shelf are Once Upon a Broken Heart, which I have not yet read, Twin Crowns, which I have not yet read, and over here, behind Megs, The Silmarillion, which I have also not read. The second shelf is one of my absolute favorites. It is my indie bookshelf. This indie bookshelf has so many books that look so cool, but I have not read. I've read some of them, but not nearly enough. There's only one Funko Pop on the shop, and that is Millie, the main character of The Secrets Library, a short story serial which I wrote last year. Standout titles I actually have read Of Liars and Thieves. We've got From the Mouths of Sirens, which I have not yet read. Scales of Ash and Smoke, read the first one, cannot wait to read the second. We've got Where Iron Meets Flame, The Rise of the Raiden, Our Mistaken Identity, which I have read. A Gamble with Fate, which I have started but not finished. The first 2 books, the Untouchable trilogy, cannot wait for the third one. And then over here at the end, we have my personal copies of Secrets of the Library. Over here, we've got this really cool lion bookend I got from my great-grandfather's house, a pocket watch, a Funko Pop of Snowball, a future character in a book of mine, a mug shot taken in an acting camp I took, a cute little figurine from my great-grandmother's house, and a random candle that I have and have never lit before. Now we're going to move down to the next shelf. This is my retelling shelf. I've got some cool books like Gilded, Heart of the Impaler, which is a Dracula retelling. I have not read either of those, but I really want to. We've got Bravely, which is a Brave story. And then over here, we have my custom Funko of Dove, the main character of my most recent book, which I'm working on, The Neverland Games. I chose retellings for the shelf so I could have a bunch of stuff that fits with the Funko's Neverland Games. I'm currently working on a Captain Hook Funko, which will go right here, where I currently have a mug made to look like the cup from Once Upon a Time. And in that cup, we have really short pencils and hair ties. It's also sitting on Straight On Till Morning, which I have not read, but it's a Disney twisted tale involving Peter Pan and Captain Hook. So it's going to be pretty fitting once I actually put the Hook Funko on it. Now, this bottom shelf is kind of anything goes. I was pretty much just doing YA, and we also have the other lion bookend. I don't have a place for it. There's also a self-editing book in the corner, which is not YA at all. We've got Carve the Mark, sci-fi, and then a bunch of Mortal Instrument books. We also have some Marvel over here, so yeah, it's pretty just random books. Now, I know I said that I showed you the top shelf, but there's actually one above that, and this is a really cool shelf. Here we have my leather bound and a bunch of old books. So this one is a little bit messy. I've got a charm bracelet I started with a charm from Secrets of the Library. And then I have an empty frame and a small tiara. I've also got my big tiara over here. But, of course, the main selling point is the books. We've got Robin Hood, Journey to the Center of the Earth, Arabian Nights, a cool Sherlock Holmes book, which I got for like $10, Three Musketeers, my fairy tale books, which I've shown you one of those, classic ghost stories, and then this really old one, which I don't even know the plot, but I got it from my grandma, Les Mis, which has to go in 2 volumes, it is so long. And then probably the coolest, which is my copy of The Princess Bride. Okay, taking a step back to show off this book. This is The Princess Bride. And if you think the outside looks cool, it has a whole map right on the inside. And then these are the pages. It has gorgeous illustrations, and the pages themselves, they look kind of like parchment with this decoration in the corner. It's absolutely gorgeous. yet somehow I have not read this thing. So, I mean, that's on me. I can't excuse that. So, that is shelf one. This, as I said, is my main shelf. This is kind of where I put the books which I really want to read. They're like at the top of my to-read list. I just had to wait like 10 minutes for my phone to back up photos and videos because I was out of storage space. But now we can get back to the bookshelf tour. So the next shelves that I'm going to show you, I am going to be doing it by showing off kind of the least amount possible in a way. I'm going to show you the bookshelves and everything. But the tops are very messy, so we're going to have a limited point of view, if that makes sense. Okay, so this shelf is kind of like childhood bookshelf. I have the Harry Potter series, I've got a Wings of Fire book, and then Heroes of Olympus, which I absolutely love. That's probably my favorite of the whole Rick Riordan books. Percy Jackson's awesome too, but I just loved the Heroes of Olympus series. And then down here, we have more of my childhood books. There's some Edie Baker, some Jessica Day George, and then a couple random ones. The Somewhere Only We Know is actually not a kid's book. That's just here for overflow reasons. And then I've got a couple Groot figurines. And this stack I don't have room for. That's also a lot of Edie Baker, actually. I did some rearranging the other day to make room for the new Funko Pops and everything. And so there's some mess I haven't taken care of. This little shelf here is just completely eclectic. We have a random book got from the little free library. We have some theater books, got the novelization of Dear Evan Hansen, Andrew Lloyd Webber's autobiography, which I got for $3, which is insane because it was brand new. A bunch of Shakespeare books, and then we go into ghost stories, mythology. Of course, in the front we have a couple Funko Pops. These are kind of like the villains of the story. I won't say too much about them for spoiler reasons. Then over here, we have more Rick Riordan books. We've got a bunch of the, I'm blanking on the name, Trials of Apollo. It is right in front of me, but I couldn't think of the name. They're actually out of order, and I have not read the last one that I have, The Tyrant's Tomb. I have read the entire Percy Jackson series. And then down here, we have more books stacked really oddly. I need to finish arranging this bookshelf. I have the room. Then we also have The Wizard of Oz on top of Wicked, the Grimmery. That was not intentional, but it worked out really good. That's not a dead gorilla back there. That is the Niffler, who kind of looks dead. And then we have little baby Groot. Just gonna divert your attention from the Niffler. Over here, we've got some YA dystopian, and then The Prague Cemetery, which is actually an adult thriller book, but I just put it there because I don't have room for anywhere else. We got The Hunger Games, a Divergent book. I don't know where the first Divergent book is. Maze Runner, and then some more James Dashner books, which are a lot of fun. Down here, we have all of my Funko Pop boxes. Well, not all, because if you go down one more, there are even more Funko Pop boxes. We have a Funko Pop, which is Groot, baby Groot, who is all gold. And then this is more just random books. We have Michael Crichton, another YA dystopian, which definitely should not be there. Some nonfiction books about hidden Mickeys and photos. Grumpy Cat's book. And then Psych's Guide to Crime Fighting, which is absolutely nonfiction. It's just completely vital. And then actually some Harry Potter guides. We have this Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. I actually have 2 copies of this. This one's not nearly as good looking as the other one, but I don't know where the other one is. Actually, that's not true. Hang on. Here is the other one. This one looks really good, but that one has some cool, like, little scribbles, notes in it from the characters in a way, so that's a lot of fun. Okay, now we have one more shelf to see. Let's go here. This, actually, above it, we have Shakespeare collections, and then some Bibles. But this shelf is the most overflow, which is weird because of what books are in it. First of all, we have a bunch of hoodies. Sorry, the lighting is terrible. I can't really get my ring light over here. We have more Funko boxes, and then, yeah, this is also a shoe cabinet, but I have a bunch of old books I got from my great-grandfather's house, and they're really pretty, but I didn't know where to put them, so I just put them in this shoe cupboard, and they've been sitting here ever since. So this is the most overflow shelf that I have. It's really bad. but I don't know where else to put these. I almost forgot about this shelf. So this is kind of like a joint me and my sister overflow shelf. These books are mostly hers, but there are a few of mine, like A Study in Charlotte. This is just overflow. Overflow. I completely forget that these exist. And yeah, I may or may not read them. Wait, there's another bookshelf. I just saw another bookshelf. This is a game bookshelf. It's got the games, and then all of my Nancy Drew books. I had to throw out a bunch of them because the cat peed on them. These are not peed on, I checked. And then there's another Bible. Wow, I have not read these books in ages. This giant shelf is open because if we put stuff on it, the cats will pee on it. So yeah, I have a lot of books. There's this huge shelf downstairs, which is a lot more books. But that's not all mine, so I'm not going to show it off. And there you have it. That was my bookshelf, or bookshelves more accurately, tour. I don't know if this was fun for anyone to watch. I may be editing this and wondering why I thought this was a good idea, but we did it, so yay! Okay, I'm just gonna end the video here.